The massive observation deck of the Galactic Council fell silent as the human vessel appeared on their screens. It was the first official diplomatic contact between humanity and the established interstellar community. That is their flagship? Admiral Day of the Stellar Confederation barely concealed his amusement. The human ship, designated HSS Phoenix, was bulky and angular compared to the sleek, crystalline vessels used by advanced species. It looks like they welded cargo containers together, remarked Officer June, not bothering to lower his voice. The Phoenix drifted slowly toward the massive council station. Its hull showed obvious signs of repair and its propulsion systems emitted energy patterns that most civilizations had abandoned centuries ago. Captain Jisoo Park stood tall on the Phoenix's bridge, her back straight despite knowing how the council representatives were judging her vessel. The bridge crew worked quietly at their stations, each aware of the historical importance of this moment. "They're scanning us again," Lieutenant Taewon said quietly from his position at the sensor array. "Very thorough scans." "Let them look," Jisoo replied calmly. "We have nothing to hide." Engineer Hyun glanced up from his station. "Their scans are quite primitive. They won't detect our core systems." Jisoo nodded but gestured for him to remain silent. The Phoenix may appear obsolete by council standards, but that was by design. Earth had learned long ago that appearing weaker than you were had strategic advantages. The main screen flickered to life, revealing Admiral Day's imposing figure. The alien's scaled skin gleamed under the bright lights of his command center, and his eyes, all four of them, blinked in sequence as he regarded the humans. "Captain Park, welcome to Council Space," Admiral Day said. "Your vessel is quaint. We've arranged docking at our tertiary bay, suitable for vessels of your technological level." Jisoo maintained her diplomatic smile. "We appreciate your hospitality, Admiral." "The Phoenix is eager to make history today." "Indeed," the Admiral replied, not hiding his skepticism. "History will certainly be made. Your species is the first to achieve interstellar travel using such rudimentary methods. We're all quite curious how you managed it." After the transmission ended, Navigator Yoon turned in her chair. "Did he just assign us to the cargo docks?" "Focus on the mission," Jisoo replied. "Not their expectations." The Phoenix approached the docking bay slowly. Through the viewports, the crew could see dozens of alien vessels, each more advanced and elegant than the last. Some appeared to be almost living crystal, others were perfect spheres with no visible propulsion systems. As they passed a particularly impressive vessel, a transmission came through on an open channel. "Look at that ancient design," a voice said in barely translated speech. "I'm surprised it doesn't have combustion engines." Taewon's hands tightened on his console. "Captain." "Steady," Jisoo said. "Remember your training." The Phoenix docked with a heavy clunk that seemed to emphasize its outdated design. As the airlocks aligned, Jisoo straightened her uniform and addressed her bridge crew. "Today we represent not just Earth but all of humanity. They're going to underestimate us. Let them." When the delegation stepped onto the council station, the difference in technology became even more apparent. The council architecture was fluid and responsive, with walls that shifted and changed color. Gravity adjusted automatically for each species, and translator fields made communication seamless. Admiral Day stood waiting with representatives from 12 other species. Some had evolved in water, others in gas giants. One appeared to be made of living stone. All regarded the humans with a mixture of curiosity and dismissal. "Welcome to the heart of galactic civilization," Admiral Day said. "You're the first new species we've welcomed in 50 years. Most don't achieve interstellar travel without assistance." "Humans have always been resourceful," Jisoo replied. A tall, willowy alien stepped forward. "I am Scientist Han of the Stellar Academy. Your propulsion system fascinates me. It's remarkably inefficient." Jisoo smiled. "Yet here we are." "Indeed," Han replied. "A mystery worth studying." As the formal reception began, the human delegation was directed to the periphery of the chamber. Most alien representatives kept their distance, occasionally glancing at the humans with poorly concealed superiority. "They think we're primitives," Tae-won whispered. Jisoo took a drink from a floating tray. "Good. Let them think that." In her pocket, a small device monitored the station's communications, security systems, and defense capabilities. The Phoenix might look outdated, but its scanning technology was anything but. While the Council studied humans with amusement, humanity was learning all it could about its new galactic neighbors. Earth had learned long ago that first impressions could be deceiving. The Phoenix had many secrets yet to reveal. The diplomatic reception continued as various alien species mingled in the Grand Hall. Floating lights changed colors to match the emotional states of those nearby. Food and drinks designed for different biological needs circulated on hovering trays. Captain Jisoo stood with her small team, noticing how other delegations whispered when looking their way. The humans wore simple blue uniforms while other species displayed elaborate ceremonial attire or modified their skin colors for the occasion. "They're talking about our ship again," Engineer Hyun said quietly. "Let them talk," Jisoo replied, taking a small sip from her glass. Admiral Day approached with several high-ranking officials. His ceremonial armor glinted with embedded technology that made the material seem alive. "Captain Park, I've been reviewing your ship's specifications," Admiral Day said. "Quite remarkable that you've managed interstellar travel with such primitive systems." Commander Sunho, the Phoenix's tactical officer, tensed beside Jisoo. "Our needs are simple, Admiral," Jisoo replied calmly. "But our results speak for themselves." A thin alien with translucent skin joined them. "I am Council Member Bo. I must say, we expected humans would need another century before achieving space travel beyond your solar system." "We're quick learners," Jisoo said. Admiral Day's four eyes blinked in sequence. "Perhaps a demonstration is in order," he suggested. "We have a training course through the Kyung asteroid field that all new Council species attempt. Most require months of preparation to navigate it safely. Would you care to try it?" Jisoo recognized the trap but also saw opportunity. "We would be honored." Council Member Bo seemed surprised. The course was designed for advanced navigation systems. "Your ship's thrusters may not be adequate." "We'll manage," Jisoo said with a confident smile. News of the human acceptance spread quickly through the reception. Soon, other species were approaching to observe these curious newcomers who had accepted such a difficult challenge. "The last species to attempt the course damaged 3 ships, one alien told them. You should reconsider." Later, back on the Phoenix, the bridge crew gathered to discuss the challenge. "It's a setup," Sunho said plainly. "Their ships use gravitational manipulation. They can simply push asteroids aside. We'll be at a significant disadvantage." "I've analyzed the course data," Navigator Un added. "The asteroid field contains materials that interfere with standard sensors. They're expecting us to fly blind." Jisoo nodded. "They want to embarrass us. To show everyone that humans aren't ready for the galactic stage." "Then why accept?" asked Tae-won. Jisoo smiled slightly. "Because they don't know what we're capable of. This is our chance to show them, but not everything." Engineer Hyun looked nervous. "Should we activate the fold systems?" "No," Jisoo decided. "Not yet. We'll use enhanced thrusters only. Save our real technology for when we truly need it." The crew spent hours studying the asteroid field. The Council had provided minimal data, another way to stack the odds against them. But humans had been navigating dangerous situations with limited information for their entire history. "We launch in 3 hours," Jisoo announced. "Get some rest while you can." The observation deck was packed with representatives from every species when the Phoenix departed the station. Betting pools had formed, with most aliens wagering on how quickly the human ship would retreat or require rescue. "Their ship lacks proper shielding," Scientist Han commented to Admiral Day as they watched. "The radiation alone will force them back." Admiral Day nodded. "They'll learn their place in the galactic order. Better now than later." The Phoenix approached the asteroid field slowly. From a distance, it looked manageable, scattered rocks floating in space. But closer sensors revealed dangerous concentrations of radioactive materials, gravitational anomalies, and microasteroids moving at high speeds. "Final systems check," Jisoo ordered as they approached. "All systems nominal," Taewon reported. "Though our visitors wouldn't think so." The Phoenix still carried Council observers, 3 aliens who had insisted on witnessing the attempt firsthand. They stood at the back of the bridge, their expressions showing a mixture of curiosity and pity. "You may abort at any time," one observer reminded them. "Rescue ships are standing by." "That won't be necessary," Jisoo replied, her eyes focused on the asteroid field ahead. Take us in." Half speed. The Phoenix entered the field, its thrusters adjusting with precision that surprised the observers. A large asteroid tumbled toward them, but Navigator guided the ship into a tight turn that seemed impossible for a vessel of its size. "Interesting technique," one observer noted, trying to hide their surprise. The real challenge began as they penetrated deeper into the field. Asteroids moved in unpredictable patterns, and radiation interfered with sensors just as expected. Switching to alternative scanning, Taewon announced, activating systems that the Council knew nothing about. The Phoenix danced between asteroids, occasionally using short bursts from its thrusters to push smaller rocks away. The observers watched with growing confusion as the supposedly primitive human ship navigated with unexpected grace. "We're approaching the center of the field," reported. "The densest section is ahead." Jisoo nodded. "Proceed as planned. Let's show them what humans can do." In the Council's monitoring center, dozens of alien officials gathered around holographic displays tracking the Phoenix's progress through the asteroid field. What had begun as an exercise in humbling the newcomers was becoming something else entirely. "That's impossible," Science Officer Min whispered, watching the human ship execute another perfect maneuver between 2 massive asteroids that should have required gravitational manipulation to navigate. Admiral Day frowned deeply, his scaled skin darkening with concern. "They're already halfway through the course." The previous record for a first attempt was 1/4. The Phoenix moved with unexpected precision, sometimes seeming to anticipate the movement of asteroids before their trajectory changed. Several times, the ship passed through gaps that appeared too narrow for its bulky frame. "Their hull should be taking damage from the radiation," another scientist noted. "Yet their shields are holding." Admiral Day's eyes narrowed. "Conduct a deep structural scan. Use the main array. I want to know what we're missing." Science Officer Min adjusted her instruments, recalibrating them to penetrate deeper than standard protocols allowed. "Sir, this will be noticeable to their sensors." "I don't care," Day replied. "Do it." On the Phoenix, Engineer Hyun glanced up from his console. "Captain, they're scanning us again. Much deeper this time." Jisoo exchanged looks with Taewon. "Let them see the secondary systems, but maintain containment on the core." "Yes, Captain," Hyun replied, fingers dancing over his controls. Back in the monitoring center, Min's eyes widened as data flooded her screens. "Sir, I'm detecting energy signatures that don't match any known configuration. Their power source, it's not using conventional matter-antimatter reactions." "What are they using then?" Day demanded, leaning closer to the display. Min's hands moved rapidly, analyzing the incoming data. "It's unlike anything in our database. They appear to be manipulating dimensional boundaries, creating microscopic fold points within their engine core." "That technology is theoretical at best," Day snapped. "No species has successfully stabilized a dimensional fold. The energy requirements alone would be astronomical." Min looked up from her console. "The humans have." A stunned silence fell over the monitoring center as the implications sank in. Every spacefaring species in the Council had developed along similar technological paths: gravitational manipulation, plasma drives, and eventually static warp fields. No one had pursued dimensional folding beyond early theoretical work because of the immense difficulties involved. "Could this be a mistake in our scanning?" another official asked. Min shook her head. I've verified it 3 ways. They're using controlled microfolds to enhance their propulsion and power systems. That's how they're navigating the asteroid field with such precision. They're creating tiny spatial distortions that let them move more efficiently than should be possible with their visible technology. Admiral Day stared at the image of the Phoenix as it continued through the field. They deliberately showed us an outdated exterior while hiding their true capabilities. On the Phoenix, Navigator Un called out, entering the final approach, Captain. The density is increasing. Jisoo nodded. Engage pattern Sigma. Let's finish this cleanly. The Phoenix suddenly accelerated, moving even more precisely than before. To outside observers, the ship seemed to flow between asteroids like water finding the path of least resistance. The 3 alien observers on the bridge watched in stunned silence. Your control systems are more advanced than we were led to believe, one finally said. Jisoo offered a small smile. We prefer to let our actions speak for us. In the monitoring center, the mood had shifted from condescension to concern. Council member Bo joined Admiral Day, watching the displays with growing alarm. If they've mastered dimensional folding, Bo said quietly, what else have they accomplished that we dismissed as impossible? And why hide it, another official added. Why present themselves as technologically inferior? Admiral Day's expression darkened further. Because that's what a species does when they're assessing potential threats. Min continued analyzing the scan data. Sir, there's more. The dimensional folding technology is just the surface. Their ship appears to have multiple redundant systems we don't understand. And these readings suggest their hull composition isn't what it appears to be. Meaning? Day asked. Meaning the crude exterior is a facade, Min explained. Underneath, they're using materials and configurations we've never seen before. On the main display, the Phoenix cleared the final section of the asteroid field, completing the course in record time without a single scratch. A course that had been designed to humble had instead revealed something the Council never expected to find. Contact the Phoenix, Admiral Day ordered. Invite Captain Park to a private meeting with the High Council immediately. As the message was transmitted, he turned to Min. Continue analyzing that data. I want to know everything about that ship. Everything. Min nodded, but her expression was troubled. Sir, there's one more thing. Based on these energy readings, I don't think the Phoenix is even using its full capabilities. What we're seeing might be just a fraction of what they can do. The emergency alarms blared across all frequencies without warning. On the Council station, displays flashed red as data streams showed a sudden and catastrophic event unfolding nearby. The Hana star is destabilizing, a technician shouted as officials rushed to their stations. Unexpected solar activity detected. Science Officer Min's hands flew across her control panel, analyzing the incoming data. This is impossible. Hana was stable during our last survey. Now it's showing signs of imminent collapse. Admiral Day strode into the emergency center, his face grim. How bad? Critical, sir, Min replied. The star is releasing waves of exotic radiation that our shields aren't designed to block. 3 inhabited worlds are in the direct path. On the main display, they could see the Hana star pulsing with unnatural energy. Bursts of blue-white radiation shot outward in expanding rings, already reaching the orbit of the nearest planet. Evacuate all ships to safe distance, Day ordered. Send emergency warnings to the affected systems. Sir, another officer interrupted, the radiation is disrupting our long-range communications. We can't reach the colonies. The gathered officials stared at the display in horror. A stellar event that should have taken millions of years to develop was happening in minutes. Millions of lives were now in immediate danger. Our shields cannot withstand that specific radiation pattern, Min reported. Any ship that approaches will be disabled or destroyed. At that moment, Captain Jisoo and her officers were escorted into the emergency center. They had been summoned for the private council meeting when the alarms began. Jisoo took in the situation at a glance. What's happening? Admiral Day turned to her, his earlier suspicion momentarily forgotten. The Hana star is collapsing. We can't reach the colonies to evacuate them. Jisoo studied the data on the displays, then exchanged quick glances with Engineer Hyun. A silent communication passed between them. We might be able to help, Jisoo said. How? Dae demanded. No ship can get close enough to transmit through that radiation. The Phoenix can, Jisoo stated simply. Min shook her head. Even with your dimensional technology, the radiation levels are too high. You'd never survive. Our hull is designed differently than yours, Engineer Hyun explained. And our dimensional fold system can create a buffer field. The Council ships began retreating as another wave of radiation expanded outward. The bright blue energy washed over the station, causing lights to flicker and systems to temporarily fail. The station's shields were barely holding. Even if you could get close, Dae argued, how would you stop a stellar collapse? We can create a temporary stabilization field using our fold technology, Jisoo explained. It won't fix the star permanently, but it will buy enough time to evacuate the colonies. The Council officials exchanged skeptical looks. Even with what they had discovered about human technology, what Jisoo proposed seemed impossible. Captain Park, you must understand, Dae said quietly. If you approach that star, your vessel cannot possibly survive those conditions. Jisoo's face was calm but determined. We've prepared for situations like this. The Phoenix was designed for more than diplomatic missions. She turned to her crew. Prepare the ship for immediate launch. As the human officers rushed toward the exit, Dae called after them. This is suicide. Jisoo paused at the doorway. That's our mission, she corrected. Phoenix out. 30 minutes later, the Council Emergency Center watched in stunned silence as the Phoenix approached the collapsing star. The human ship had deployed previously concealed equipment from its hull, arrays of strange devices that glowed with internal energy. They're actually doing it, Min whispered, monitoring the Phoenix's progress. On the Phoenix, the bridge was bathed in red emergency lighting as the ship shuddered under the strain. Engineer Hyun worked frantically at his station as readings climbed into dangerous territories. Hull temperature rising, Taewon reported. Radiation levels at 300% of our stated tolerance. Actual tolerance holding at 70%, Engineer Hyun added. We can manage this, Captain. Jisoo gripped her chair as another radiation wave struck the ship. Deploy the dimensional fold array. Full power to the stabilization field. Deploying now, Hyun confirmed. The Phoenix began to glow as it absorbed the deadly radiation, channeling it through its unique engines. The arrays extended from the ship created a visible distortion in space, a shimmering curtain of energy that spread toward the star. In the Council Emergency Center, the officials watched in amazement as readings from the Hana star began to stabilize. The radiation is being contained, Min reported, unable to hide her astonishment. They're creating some kind of dimensional pocket that's absorbing the exotic particles. But how long can they maintain it? Dae asked. Min's expression grew concerned as she studied the readings. The energy they're handling, it's beyond anything we've ever measured. Their ship is taking tremendous strain. On the Phoenix, warning lights flashed across every console as systems reached their limits. Primary containment at maximum, Hyun reported, his voice strained. Switching to secondary systems. Hold position, Jisoo ordered. We need to maintain the field until the evacuation ships arrive. The Phoenix glowed brighter as it fought against forces that should have torn it apart. The secret of humanity's true technological achievements was now on full display for the galaxy to see. 3 days after the crisis, Captain Jisoo stood again in the council chamber. This time, there was no reception, no floating trays of food and drink. The chamber had been arranged for a formal ceremony, with representatives from all member species present. Jisoo's uniform still bore scorch marks from the emergency, and Engineer Hyun's arm was in a healing wrap. The rest of the human crew stood behind their captain, their faces showing fatigue but pride. The Phoenix had maintained its stabilization field around the Hana star for 27 hours, long enough for evacuation ships to reach all 3 threatened colonies. When the human ship finally returned to the Council station, its outer hull had been partially melted and several systems had failed completely. But it had survived what every Council expert had deemed impossible. Admiral Day approached, walking with formal precision. His posture was noticeably different now, no longer looking down at the humans but meeting Jisoo at eye level. "Captain Park," he began, his voice carrying through the silent chamber, "your actions saved over 4 million lives across 3 worlds. The Council extends its deepest gratitude." "We did what any of our ships would do," Jisoo replied simply. Science Officer Min stepped forward, holding a data crystal. "We've analyzed the technology you employed during the crisis. Your dimensional fold approach is revolutionary. We had assumed gravitational manipulation was the only viable path to advanced space travel." Jisoo nodded. "Different problems often have multiple solutions. Humans found a different path." Council member Bo joined them. "For many centuries, our scientists dismissed dimensional folding as impossible to stabilize. The energy requirements were considered too extreme. We faced similar challenges," Hyun admitted. "But necessity is a powerful motivator." The chamber grew quiet as the High Council elder moved to the center of the room. The ancient being rarely spoke at public gatherings, making this moment even more significant. "Humanity has shown us something we had forgotten," the elder said, voice soft but clear. "There are many paths to the stars, not just one. Your approach to physics, to energy, to space itself, it is unlike anything we have developed." Jisoo bowed slightly in respect. "The Council would like to propose a formal alliance," Admiral Day continued. "Your perspective would be valuable to us all. We have much to learn from each other." "I'll relay the offer to Earth," Jisoo said. "They'll be interested to hear of your change of heart." As the formal part of the ceremony concluded, various officials approached the human delegation. Questions flowed freely now, without the earlier condescension. "Your dimensional technology," one scientist asked Hyun. "Does it have applications beyond propulsion?" Hyun smiled slightly. "Many. We've only begun to explore the possibilities." As they moved through the crowd, Navigator Un leaned close to Jisoo. "They're all so interested now. 3 days ago, they wouldn't even look at us." "People respect what they fear or don't understand," Jisoo replied quietly. "Now they have both reasons." Taewon joined them, nodding towards Science Officer Min, who was studying data from the Phoenix with obvious fascination. "Should we tell them the Phoenix is actually one of our older vessels? That our newer ships have even more advanced systems?" Jisoo smiled slightly. "Let's save some surprises for later negotiations." Admiral Day approached again, this time without his entourage. "Captain Park, I must offer a personal apology. I judged your species and your technology unfairly." "First impressions are rarely complete," Jisoo replied diplomatically. "Indeed," Day agreed. "Though I must ask, why present yourselves as technologically inferior? Why hide your true capabilities?" Jisoo considered her answer carefully. "Humans have a long history of conflict. We learned that appearing powerful often invites challenge, while appearing modest allows time for understanding." Day nodded slowly. "A wise approach. Though I suspect we've still seen only a fraction of what humanity can do." Jisoo didn't confirm or deny this observation. As the ceremony concluded, the human crew prepared to return to the Phoenix. Repair teams from various council species had worked alongside Engineer Hyun's staff, learning about human technology while helping restore the damaged systems. "Will you return to Earth now?" Min asked as she walked with Jisoo toward the docking bay. Eventually, Jisoo replied. "But first, we have a galaxy to explore. And it seems we have new friends to help us." Behind them, council officials were already compiling reports on human technology, their earlier dismissiveness replaced by earnest curiosity. Trading agreements were being drafted, cultural exchanges planned, and scientific collaborations proposed. The Phoenix had arrived as an object of mockery but would depart as a symbol of new possibilities. The galaxy had just become a much more interesting place, and humanity had earned its position among the stars not through intimidation or dominance, but through ingenuity and courage when it mattered most. As Jisoo stood at the airlock of her ship, she looked back at the Council station with satisfaction. Earth's careful strategy had worked perfectly. Show just enough to earn respect, but keep enough in reserve to maintain advantage. The next human ship to visit would reveal new surprises, but that was a story for another day.